like a butterfly, sting like a bee. King Kong got nothing on me. King of the jungle, man, young man rumble. See you hating on me, but you can't stop my hustle. When your back's against the wall, better fight back. Yeah, we ready to brawl, we wanna fight back. Yeah, I'm gonna take it all, gonna fight back. No one gave me nothing, so I had to fight back. You gotta think deep inside, yeah, fight back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the first interview on Blockchain Renegades. What's up, what's up? I am Thomas Duder, and keeping it real from the down under, we have...
Rodrigo Soto. How's it going, how's it going?
And of course, we have a guest today, the interview of MrRho. How you doing, bruh?
I'm pretty good. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you here, man.
Yeah.
So Rodrigo hits me up out of nowhere, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, I got this crypto guy. He's a professional. He's good. He knows his stuff about crypto. We're gonna have him as an interview. Okay, when are we gonna do it?" And I know what he's gonna say. And he goes, "Oh, later on tonight, tomorrow for you." I was like, "Oh, thank you. Yes, I knew this. I knew
it." Yes, I like to be spontaneous. I literally wanted to say now, but MrRho was like, "No, we'll do it tomorrow." I said, "All right, no worries." So, MrRho, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, yeah, I guess first I recently I have started doing radio. Well, I've been doing radio over on freedomslips.com, so I'll give myself a plug.
Yeah,
I do have 3 shows over at freedomslips.com. One of them is Crypto Corner, which is all about blockchain, Bitcoin technology, blockchain technology. And that's on Mondays at 1 p.m. Pacific on Studio A. On Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific on Studio A. I have Rose Corner, where it's just a general political or commentary kind of show. Those both are 1-hour shows. And then I have Reality Extraction, which is on Studio B on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Pacific. That's a 2-hour show. And I do interviews with all kinds of folks. Some folks like Leo Zagami, and I've had a couple exorcist priests on there, several authors, or I'll just do a show about a subject or have an open roundtable discussion. So it's general, all-around good stuff. If you're interested in, curious, come and stop by. We have a chat room. As far as my background, in the old days, back in the 80s, kind of dating myself here, I was a hacker, a phone freak. So that's what got me into technology, and I'll stay on the technology road. And instead of going into the war, I kind of went into the defense industry, and I've worked for a few defense corporations, TRW, EG&G, Lockheed, and that of the like. Some of the best jobs I've ever had, but just being a sort of a technical kind of guy, I've always been curious. And so when Bitcoin and blockchain technology caught my eye, I was actually living overseas, and I was involved in commodities trading, you know, and gold and futures, and high yield investment programs, you know, some of this high risk stuff. And I kept seeing this Bitcoin logo on some of these things, and so I decided to visit, you know, some of the forums. And that was when Satoshi Nakamoto was, still communicating. And I liked cryptography. And so I thought, well, this is interesting. And so I didn't take it too seriously. It was like a sort of a token thing. It was a novelty. But then after a while, I noticed it kept going and going. And the more I studied it, the more I liked it. I've actually gotten to send a couple messages to Satoshi Nakamoto way back in 2000. Yeah, and of course, I didn't know the significance of it, you know, of getting an answer, you know, and these, it didn't hit me, it didn't dawn on me. In fact, when Bitcoins were $2, I was doing cartwheels. I thought that was just, you know, wow, this thing from nothing, these tokens, you know, that we just made up, magic internet money is now actually is double $1, you know, U.S. money. Like it's worth 2 times.
Wait. Forgive me for just jumping in and interrupting you, but you got in on Bitcoin when it was just a freaking $1? You were there in the beginning?
Yeah, it was under a penny. It was like pennies. I remember.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I remember the famous, two
Wow.
pieces, 10,000 bitcoins. Because, like I said, I was in the hacker community. I was in high yield investment programs, and Bitcoin kept crossing both paths. I'm like, wait a minute, this is dark stuff, but it's monetary. And here's the thing: if you've got something that is being used by, a lot of people say, well, criminals and hackers are using Bitcoin. Yeah. Yeah, they are, because it's secure. And so that should tell you something logically. If you've got criminals and hackers which are using something as secure money, then it has to be robust, because there's not a lot of honor among internet thieves. Not saying that that's all the people that use it, but what I'm saying is it was born out of the harshness of this. It's kind of like somebody being brought up on the street. You learn to survive. You learn, and that's just the way it is.
It's a currency of necessity.
Yeah. So Bitcoin is an anti-fragile. Now, okay, back to this. So it goes to $2, and this is where I learned a lot, because I've lost millions by today's standards. I had a lot more Bitcoins in the past than I do now, and most of them were just sold off at $50 a piece. When I put, God. Yeah, and I remember the day I sat here. I remember it sitting here going, "Gee, I could take $5,000 and buy Bitcoins at $50 a piece, which would give me quite a bit, or I could take that $5,000 and put it into my gold forex account, and I think it's probably better to put it into gold." So I put it in the gold forex account. I lost it eventually. I didn't make any money, And of course, Bitcoins now, if I had taken that, and so that left a sour taste in my mouth about the legacy system anyway. Now, that's not to say I didn't come out ahead and do very well, because I actually did.
But you still got the big fish got away story, though. The big fish that got away.
Yeah, I could have had probably $50 million or something ridiculous by now. Ridiculous, sick amounts of money, just sickening, filthy amounts of money. But all right, not yet. Maybe next year. And so I learned a lot by playing in these markets. I had a whole bunch. I had like 50 Bitcoins just on one of the very first Bitcoin stock exchanges that was totally unofficial, totally unregulated. We had like a bunch of Bitcoins. Everything was going well. Most of these quote-unquote stocks were in mining, private people that were just being honorable, and it was an experiment, this little ecosystem that's going. And then the SEC found out about it, threatened the guy, seized the thing, took all those Bitcoins. And so the early adapters lost a lot, but Bitcoin has sort of saved everybody by performing as the best performing asset of the decade, bar none. This thing has come from zero, and it's at 10,000 now. It's following Moore's law. It is actually Moore's law is where technology doubles every so often. Some people say, okay, the amounts of circuits you can put on a printed circuit board double or triple or quadruple every year. And so Bitcoin is doing this exponentially. Every 2 years, it is 10xing. It's going up 10 times, or shorter. 4 years ago or so, Bitcoin was trading at some points at around $200, less than 200, around 100 and something, and then it went up. I have a show which is archived, the one I told you, the Crypto Corner, where in 2016, when Bitcoin was trading at around $400, I said by January 1st of 2017, you will see a $1,000 Bitcoin. And people were laughing because it had been trading at 2 and then 4, and it had crashed from 1,000 before. And people were like, come on. And I said, you'll also see a $100 Litecoin. And I have the archives to prove it. And on January 1st, to the day, it $1,000. And now that was January 1st of this year. It was $1,000. And everybody was jumping up and down going, wow, yeah, okay, right on. Now it's above $10,000. It's almost at $11,000 right now. as we
Oh,
speak.
it was $11,000 a couple days back. It actually hit 11K, and then it's been on a roller coaster ride since then.
Yeah, it's been very volatile. So now, so this is not only doubling, this is 10xing. Now, if you do the chart, if you extrapolate out, and I did the chart, I have it somewhere around here, I extrapolated out and backwards. If you go both ways from any point, including where we are at right now, which I did, and you extrapolate back and you extrapolate forward, and you say, okay, this is past performance, and this is where we're going forward based on everything, we're going to see a $1 million Bitcoin before mid-2021.
You know, there's quite a few people that are also saying that as well. I've been following quite a few crypto types on the internet, especially YouTube and just via Google and certain articles. And like you just stated, 1 million by 2021, which is insane to think about. But at the same time, it's Lord knows it's achievable. This year alone, have you noticed this year alone? Like you said, we started at like what 1K in January. And now we're at 11K, and there's a lot of people saying 18, if not 20K by the end of December, which is scary to me personally, because when I originally got into crypto a couple of months back, I was seeing, 18K, 20K by next year, and that seemed a lot more comfortable to me for a gradual increase. As a poker player or in anything else that I do, I'm all about that gradual increase, you know what I mean? I'd rather have a general positive progression than sudden spikes. That's just me personally.
The thing is, it's rare. Now, we have 21 million Bitcoins proper, 21 million full Bitcoins. And each one of those 21 million Bitcoins is divisible out 8 decimal points. So even if you have a $1 million Bitcoin, the smallest unit, which is now called a Satoshi, will still be under a penny. So it's very scalable. Now, what I'm predicting is we're going to see everybody's going to start dealing in micro bits and mini bits. What I already do is I already assume that one Bitcoin is worth $1 million. It's going to be $1 million. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to start. In fact, the wallets will even denominate now in micro bits and mini bits. So when people buy, $10 or $1,000, it might be, in actuality, 0.0001 Bitcoin, but to them it'll just be one microbit, and then maybe one mini bit will be equivalent to, some other denomination lower.
Yeah.
And we have less than about maybe around 1% of Americans are into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That's it, which is a huge upside. Another number to think about. There are only there are less or about maybe 1 million, I think, wallets that have more than one Bitcoin, and there are about 30-something million millionaires in America. 30-something million millionaires in America. Each one of those millionaires have a lot of dollars. Now, there are only going to be 21 million Bitcoins, currently 17-point-something million in circulation. So that should show you the scarcity. There have been predictions from analysts, reputable people from Japan that say $1 million Bitcoin, hell no. We're going to see a $75 million Bitcoin. This thing's not going to stop at 1 billion. And you got Litecoin and these other cryptocurrencies where I also predicted the price of Litecoin. When it was $4, I said it's going to be $100 by the end of the year. Here it is right now at 100. In fact, it'll probably be $1,000 by the end of next year. And that's, again, 10x. But Litecoin is even undervalued more than that. Litecoin, many people think, should be about a quarter of Bitcoin, which would put Litecoin at $4,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
Go ahead, Rodrigo.
Yeah, why do you think that is? Why do you think it's not as valuable as it should be?
Because a lot of people haven't caught on yet. We're still in.
It does mean that. Sorry for interrupting. Carry on.
We're between innovation and early adoption stage.
Yeah.
This is not an early adopter. This is innovation. We're just now getting the ICOs going. People are just now starting to get secure with cryptocurrency to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Before the last couple of years, everybody's like, I don't know. You can trust that. It could be hacked. And nobody really understood it.
The bubble's going to burst. Yeah.
People are like, shit, $10,000 for each? holy shit, what's it now? Tell me all about it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting. You know, people that used to laugh at me. I was running around my gym a couple of years back. I made flyers. I put the flyers on the bulletin board. I went around the gym. I'm like, yeah, you know, they were $100, and I was telling people, look, I can tell you all about this cryptocurrency. It's $100. See, to me, I was bullish at 100 and going crazy because I remembered when it was less than $1, and I was like, holy shit, here's something that's $100. And at that point, I was doing cartwheels, and that's why all of us that were really on the, because we're like, wow, this came from nothing. It's $100. Hey, everybody, look, free $100 bills, and only 2 people from my gym took me seriously, who are now very happy right now, and somebody even ripped down the flyer, and I was like, oh, that pissed me off. He just ripped down my flyer. I mean, oh my goodness, oh, screw you then, you know. So yeah, the other day I pulled up at the gym in my car I bought with Bitcoin basically, and people are starting to take me a little more seriously, and I think that's just a general flavor of the public. You know, people are starting to hear the whisper Bitcoin, and we're about to, when housewives and people in the store start inquiring, getting into it, then this thing is going to go. It's been going parabolic. It's just going to continue to do it. Yeah. Again, we're going to see, you know, huge gains.
Now, can I make an assumption and my prediction? The volatility aspect, that hasn't changed either. It is volatile. So when it starts to get to the $1 million, let's just say it won't drop 200,000, increase 400,000, drop back down to $1 million. People are going to be scared shitless. They're going to go, oh my God, I just lost $50,000. Oh, I made 150. Oh, I'm back down to 100,000. You know?
See, that is absolutely. That's what I in a way, I kind of want to see that. Yeah. Now, I think that there may be some regulation or attempted to do, but this is a free market right now, and there may be other coins that people put things in that are more securely tethered to things that are more stable. But I personally, Rodrigo, I want to see the volatility, and you're absolutely correct. I was also, again, predicting, I said, when we see Bitcoin above 10,000, we're going to see $1,000 moves. Yep. And when it's above 50,000, we're going to see like $5,000 and $10,000 moves. And when it's up there at about 100,000, we could see $20,000, $40,000. It could move a lot. Now, that is a huge opportunity for people to make a lot of money. And again, lose a lot of money. But here's something to keep in mind. No one who has bought and held Bitcoin has ever lost money. That's right.
Because the overall average is the increase, isn't it? The overall average is to make money. Well, even though you lose some, in the end, you're going to make money.
The confidence in the market is, and I have in Bitcoin right now, is that it will increase its uptrend. Not because, well, one of the main reasons is, think of Bitcoin as a glass of water and cryptocurrency. And that water has just been spilled onto a towel, and the towel represents all the people. It's about to get soaked up, and we're in the very first millisecond of that spill. The water hasn't left the glass, so when everybody, the general public, starts to absorb it, that's when we're going to see these huge. So we're in a very secure spot. Anybody that gets into Bitcoin or cryptos now at these, I know it's crazy, 10,000. Yeah, it's a low price. This is a secure spot right now to get in. And again, if you're like, wow, you know, Bitcoin, you know, some people say, well, what about it's the mark of the beast, or
We've had this discussion. We've actually talked about this, not but like an episode or two ago, about about Bitcoin, not even crypto, not even the other altcoins, but Bitcoin especially becoming the one world currency, the mark of the beast.
Yeah, and
sorry, as you mentioned,
so be it.
Came out of nowhere.
So be it.
Here's
you know,
the blockchain is a very simple. When you think about Bitcoin and blockchain technology, it's very elegantly simple. All it is an encrypted message system. When the dolphin known as Satoshi Nakamoto gave us this, he basically just said, look, here's things that already exist. You've got the internet, okay, which is a network that's decentralized. that it keeps going, that was designed by the Department of Defense to survive nuclear blasts and all that. Okay, so there's your network. You have BitTorrent or what is it? File peer-to-peer networking, which is like BitTorrent or Napster. You have cryptographic security, and that's mathematics. This algorithm is just mathematics. So, and then you have messaging like email, like on the TCP/IP UDP stacks. You can just put packets there and encrypt messages. So now you put these things together. You have a messaging system, which is the encrypted key pair, secured by cryptography, put on a ledger that runs on top of the blockchain that's distributed like a peer-to-peer system. So all of these functions are modular components on their own, but the genius of Satoshi was just taking these things and putting them together. He actually didn't really come up with anything, quote-unquote, new that didn't already exist. He just knew how to fit these pieces together. And now we look at it and go, wow, it's so simple, And so that is the Bitcoin is the first application to run on this blockchain. Now, the blockchain technology, the programming is open source. That means it's not even, it's like Windows is not open source. So if there's anywhere the AI is going to hide, it's going to be somewhere in the bowels of the internet itself or on your operating system. If you're thinking it's going to go into computers, it's not going to be on the blockchain. Now, you have things like Ethereum. Ethereum is a completely different animal. It runs on top of the blockchain. Think of this, the blockchain is a train track. And you can have any type of train. You can have, Bitcoin would be like your flat car or your boxcar train with a lock on it. When you put some messages inside the boxcar, or even a flat car where you can actually see the messages because you can see the amount. So it'd be a flat car with just bricks. Now, Ethereum would be boxcars with locks, and you can't see what the contents are inside. So you can put anything on top. Ethereum is a different animal where you can actually have programmed smart contracts that do anything from very simple rudimentary tasks to very complex. Like I can make a smart contract that says send Rodrigo and Thomas 1 Ethereum each in 20 years, and it's locked on the chain. It can never be changed. Nobody can do anything, and in 20 years it will be executed, period. As long as the internet is still up. That's it. Once you lock it in, that's sort of the beauty of it. It's like nobody can change it, and you can get rid of the middlemen. So if there's anywhere that some AI, quote-unquote, nefarious thing might be built upon, it could be snuck into an Ethereum-type chain. So,
or in a blockchain of its own.
Could blockchain technology facilitate something that would not gobble up everything? Possibly. Now, I would draw the line if somebody wanted to come to me and say, look, you're going to have to take this biometric chip to interface with your Bitcoin and stuff. I mean, no.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take something, but the moment you come at me with a needle, with anything, whether it's a vaccine or a chip, I will meet you with my shotgun. And because I'm not going to live in a world like that. That's where I draw the line. But I still have hope that blockchain technology, it's like fire or steel. The person can use it. If I take fire, I can either burn my neighbor's house down or I can make a barbecue for them. The fire doesn't care.
Or make a barbecue of them. If you're that kind, make a barbecue of them because baby back ribs, and if they really annoy you, just straight up feed them to the dogs.
But the fire doesn't care, and the steel doesn't care. It'll be a cage, or it'll be a frying pan, or it'll be a brand new car. It's how the person. Yeah, exactly, and that's what blockchain technology is. It's a tool. It's something that could liberate us, or it can be used to track you. Absolutely, but there's enough people out. See, here's the beauty of it. It cuts out the bank, and that's the main power. The powers that be keep us at bay with their usury and their monetary caste system. And now this is the key to the lock. And once this equalizes the middle class, and they know that they can't use their money against us as leverage because we're all on the same playing field, then this is going to free up people. Here's what I like. This is going to free up people so that they can go out of their busy work jobs, so they don't have to go work for somebody 9 to 5, commute in traffic, blah, 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 and be miserable doing busy work when they could free their mind, do what they want to do, and force multiplier times that millions of people, of middle-class people that finally get to follow their bliss and not have to go and do work just to put food on the tables for their families. So they have enough now. They can pay their bills, be comfortable. There goes the stress, and they can do what they want to do. You know, it's like maybe Johnny, he doesn't want to work at McDonald's as a manager. He'd rather study medicine so he can be a doctor. You know, so these kinds of little things, and that
I am disgusted because this is exactly where I wanted the conversation to go personally. I was prepared, and we even talked about this in our pre-show conversation, you and I. This is stuff we've talked about here on the show before, and yes, indeed, the leveling of the playing field, the greatest tool, the greatest weapon that the middle class, the final weapon as of late, that the middle class even has at this point for anybody to get ahead, because, yeah, the glass ceiling has been long since blasted out. Long since blasted out. Hell, even before the 90s, technically.
Oh, yeah, you know, and see, if everybody was worried about, or is worried about, the crash of the system, and, you know, whether we're going to blame it on whoever's president or it just happens or whatever, people are worried that the financial system somehow is going to crash, and if there was not cryptocurrency, folks like me would be very worried too. I mean, it'd be a very dismal future to think of, and there is no safety net. Now, there's something to look forward to. There's safety net. This can be passive income for people. Just the fact that you can buy a Bitcoin now, or people have bought Bitcoins, let's say, at the beginning of this year, and sat there and watched them just increase 10 times. You know, if you put $1,000 in your savings account last year, let's say you put $5,000 in there last year, it's still $5,000. Maybe even 30% interest. 1,000 this year now is 10,000 or 11,000 and growing, and that's the passive income. It continues to grow. You could just sit there. So this is an amazing thing, and so to the people that like a lot of people say, well, I don't trust it and da da da. Well, really, are you telling people to just stay poor? Because I've actually heard people say that, like, I wouldn't get into that. You know, I like the natural way, and technology scares me, and whatever the
natural way, the old way, more like it, the old fear-controlled way. You know, MrRho, I see a very hopeful future. I was very pessimistic before I actually started to talk to you about it. You introduced me to Bitcoin. And
wait, Ro was the guy who got you into Bitcoin?
Yeah, MrRho got me into Bitcoin.
I didn't realize.
Whoa. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool. So, MrRho, and I was very pessimistic. I was very, New World Order, going to take over the world. Everyone's going to be unhappy, slaves. But now I see something. I see a utopian society by the common man, for the common man, and even the rich. They could get involved in Bitcoin. I don't care. The thing, it's not going to affect me. It's not going to affect me none, and it's
except for what happened with SegWit 2x, and then CME futures is another possible. I'm just saying. Now,
but it still levels futures. No, I was just saying it still levels the playing field a bit. Even with SegWit 2x, it didn't get in, but what's to say that it's not going to happen in the future?
The first time it didn't get in, but I heard there was a second attempt though. Like that was recently, and that was only like a week after the DDoS on the main blockchain occurred. In fact, that was like not but 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I watched that happen. That was when Bitcoin Cash went from down all the way up to like $3,000, and then there was a massive dump. And in fact, there was rumors about something. I don't want to spread FUD, but it appears to not happen. There was something that was supposed to happen today, actually, where the Chinese exchange was going to attempt to dump Bitcoin to below $1,000 levels. But I don't see this kind of thing occurring. And you see,
if
Bitcoin.
It was supposed to happen, it didn't.
Yeah, you see these other things. I believe there's plenty of room in the crypto sphere for all of them. Again, we're looking at finite supplies. These coins are not going to be like, it's not like you can make more of them. And you have plenty of different animals. You've got Bitcoin, Litecoin, and then you have Ethereum, which is actually more of a functional with a currency system built into it. But this is, like I say, just the beginning. And again, the people that say, well, you should get into silver. I'm not saying don't get into silver or gold. I think it's actually good to be into both.
Yes.
You know, I personally don't believe that we're going into Mad Max, and I don't believe that we're even going to go into the Blade Runner dystopian society. I think that if enough people are free from their usury binds, that we can actually steer the consciousness of the social order into something more positive, because all the fighting that we're seeing now with the wars and all the crap and bullshit and propaganda, all of that is from from the powers that be. You know, we can all agree, whatever our political views are, we can all agree that the system is shit and they're corrupt.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They're all corrupt, and every once in a while maybe somebody does a little something, but you can't really trust any of them, and we need to have some change. And who put these people in charge anyway? And then, and it all goes to these banks and these corporations. And once we get up to a level where we don't need them, or if we can look at the bank and say we don't need you anymore, that I am a personal experiment. I did it myself. I will be a testimony, and I'll say this here right now. I've disengaged. I took all my money and I'm all in cryptos. I don't have any money in the bank. I have a credit union where I have a very small amount, and I have an online internet bank, and that's about it. Where I use if I have to, but most of my stuff is in crypto. You can get a BitPay card, and yeah, it's good to diversify. Have seeds, have gold, have food, have water, and have crypto. But there are some of these folks out there like Lynette Zhang, who'll sit there and say, "Oh, silver is good and gold is good, but stay away from crypto. Stay away." Yeah. Like, these people care so much for your well-being that they don't want to get you because it might be the mark of the beast. They don't want to see. Stay where you're at. Stay poor. They want to keep you unhealthy. They want to keep you ignorant, and they want to
stay in control. Control is what it is, and it's always been that measure. I don't want to go off too hard on that, but yeah, no, I could argue easily that politics and religion both, even our entertainment media, and this is speaking as an entertainer somewhat, yeah, they have always been used as tools of control of the masses. But then you got Bitcoin, which can honestly and sincerely free the people.
Liberate everyone.
Is a bloodless revolution, and one that was necessary, because either we're going to have a bloody uprising or we're going to have this. Currently we have this. The thing that really attracted me about Bitcoin, straight up, just to throw this out there, was because of how it's the strength. Yeah, it's volatile, but there is stability and strength involved simply from the masses and the trust placed in it. Bitcoin made me ask, what is money really? And this isn't a new question, but Lord knows Bitcoin has certainly answered it. It survived SegWit 2X. It has survived every attempt to destroy it, to take it down thus far. Now, I'm certain there's more tests in the future, but right now it is doing exceptional. It's doing better than the American dollar. That's for damn certain. You can quote me on that.
Oh, it is the best performing asset.
That's about it.
It is the best performing asset of the decade, bar none. Bar none of the decade. And another nice thing I've seen about Bitcoin is it is a uniter. I do political shows and stuff, and I won't go into politics or all that, but we're all from with the whole left, right, anti-Trump and pro this, pro that. And the one thing that I've noticed that, among a lot of the millennials and folks out there is it doesn't matter if you're on the left, it doesn't matter if you're on the right. They both unite at Bitcoin. Both sides are saying this is something, and so it is also a uniter. And once people can stop relying on the whole political thing and they move over towards, the more social aspects, yeah, I think we might start to go a different direction. It could have a trickle-down effect. So I continue to be pro blockchain technology. But again, you have to be careful. It is like gunpowder. It's like fire. It is so versatile that it can be dangerous. But I'd rather have danger.
It can kill.
Yeah. I want danger and freedom, though, before, safe tyranny any day of the week. I'm not going to give up all my rights and privileges and be a little baby. And that's one thing about Bitcoin and blockchain. You're going to be your own bank, which means you're going to have to start learning about your own security. And people are used to being treated almost kind of like adult babies. The bank takes care of everything. Now, the nice thing is, okay, if the bank gets robbed, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about losing your money. But they can take your money at any time. And we have to start learning the concept that We need to be responsible for our own actions, our own finances, and our own everything. If we want to have total freedom, that means total responsibility. So, you lose your Bitcoins, it's on you. And so we have to learn about scams and research all this stuff.
And part of the issue is also, let's not forget that one of the greatest problems we're facing today in our modern era in this dynasty under heaven is that you can have freedom or you can have safety and comfort. You know what I mean? And there are too many people willing to give up their freedoms for creature comforts. That's part of the reason why the same idiots who keep taking them away and under the guise of comfort, that's the reason why they keep getting voted in. That's part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. So that is one of the things that I do hope out of Bitcoin, which, oh my God, every point you've hit tonight has been so succinct, has been so good, and is so true. And it is one of those things where it is a mass uniter, but it might also be the thing that we need to wake people up to what's going on, in politics, in business. And Bitcoin touches upon it all, even religion, even our entertainment, once again. Bitcoin does touch, business in general touches upon all of these. I'm a laissez-faire kind of guy, both ways, Got to keep it both ways. And I'm just saying, that's part of the excellence of Bitcoin is that, once again, it always comes down to the power that it gives to the masses. That's where the trust in it comes from.
Yep.
The banks get their trust from the petrodollar. Used to be gold, then it became the petrodollar. No one knows why. If you ask any normal jerk-off on the street, they don't know. They don't even know what a petrodollar is. Seriously. I'd heard about it before, but I had to look into it further when I started getting further into Bitcoin. You can't, even just touching Bitcoin, the moment you get into it, you do more research. It's there, you'll get pushed into it, even on accident. You're going to slide into that rabbit hole.
You get educated and you invest in yourself and invest in time to educate yourself. It has opened an opportunity for myself, to make it a full-time career for me to learn that whole cryptocurrency blockchain phenomenon. It has, as I said, I've become very pessimistic in the past. Now I'm very optimistic about all areas of life to do with blockchain. I want to learn decentralized applications. I want to learn how this works, that works, how we can use it, how we can improve things. And that's, to me, it's like the holy grail of it's the red pill that changes the future. It is a red pill. Why do you want to keep doing the same thing over and over? You're not going to get a different result. That's the definition of insanity. So this thing will allow us to progress. This blockchain technology will allow us to progress spiritually as well as economically, financially, and in other areas. That's what I think, man.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think that I have hope for humanity. I don't see us going into any sort of depressional system. There are forces out there that would like to do that, but I think that they're going to fail. Just like you're seeing a lot of this crazy stuff come to light with this whole weird pedophilic kind of criminal act going on.
Yeah, Hollywood is infested and has been infested for years. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I do blame our parents. I blame our grandparents. This happened on their watch. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to continue. Because it's being brought to light. Light can scorch. It can heal, but it can also scorch. Let's never forget. Light can burn. Darkness smothers. Darkness also, helps. It helps you. Straight up. It comforts. But I do want to jump off of something you said earlier. I need to jump off it because it's brewing in the back of my mind. You're saying you don't foresee a Blade Runner situation. I do. Need I point out that Sophia, the AI that was accepted in Saudi Arabia as a citizen, has stated she wants a baby. So I'm just saying, I for one, welcome our future sex bot overlords. I'm just saying.
And in that week's show, we're going to...
baby girl, if you found us, hit a brother up. I got you.
It'll be like robot royalty. Is this what this is going to be, like the first robot royal family?
I am a Kraken genital demigod, so it's a thing that I do on the side. So you might just get those just Kraken genital robot demigods everywhere.
But gents, we've come up to the 40-minute mark, and I think we should wrap it up.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Let's do some shout-outs. So, MrRho, you have your it's www.freedomsprings.com, correct?
Freedom slips, like freedom slips away. Freedom.com. That's Revolution Radio. It's the #1 listener-supported Truth Talk Alternative Radio Network on the planet. We've got about 90 hosts, 2 studios, so we have a chat room. We're working on some new stuff. come and give us a listen. We have a schedule there, and again, it's 100% listener supported. My shows are Crypto Corner Mondays at 1 p.m. Pacific on Studio A, Rose Corner Tuesdays, 1 p.m. Pacific, Studio A, and Reality Extraction on Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, Studio B. And it's been an honor, pleasure. Thank you very much, guys, for letting me come on here and ramble.
Thank you for putting up with us, especially me.
Thank you for coming on, MrRho. We would love to have you back again sometime. Probably talk a bit more about specifics about the Ethereum network. I wanted to touch base on what a burn is, but that's leave it for another show. Yeah,
one of our normal episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
Rodrigo,
for myself,
you want to do some shout out?
yeah, myself, Awareness Junkies, and later on, Sheila Kennedy and I, we're starting the Awareness Foundation, where we'll be offering some sound programs to help your business thrive. And yes, you can find our YouTube videos on awarenessjunkies.com. And you can contact me at facebook.com/Rodrigo Soto Mello. And Thomas.
Yeah. So y'all already know who this is. Thomas Duder, author of The Things. Catch my books at www.thepenismysword.com. I write that good fight. I do the fist to the face action. You know damn well it's good literature. At least the stuff that I write. Nobody else I can't really say about them. Whatever. I do have some guests and whatnot, Catch my music, heavy metal, hard rock, punk, all the good dramatic action that is Anubis Unit, www.anubisunit.com. And you can find me being the professional jerk side of Blockchain Renegades at www.blockchainrenegades.com. Forever pimping on the get up from the down under on up. That's what we do. And yes, I will say that until we put it on some shirts. Naturally, our Patreon will be coming soon, website coming soon. Our Twitter is actually up at Blockchain Heads, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Blockchain Heads.
Blockchain Heads, come show us some love. Otherwise, keep in contact. Hit me up anytime you want. But honestly, don't talk to me because I am busy and I don't like strangers. So I react very violently and kind of stranger danger. I take that to heart. Yep. On that note, thank you, Rodrigo, for setting this up. Thank you, MrRho, for getting Rodrigo into this, for coming onto this show and hooking it up with us, man. This was very, very illuminating for me. It really was. I mean, hell, you were there with the cyberfunkers. You were there with the original hackers, for the love of God. That was like before the cult of the dead cow, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I know some hacker history. I'm good. But I wasn't there when you guys were actually cracking phones and whatnot. I don't even have public phones. So, I do believe that's about everything. Yes, Rodrigo?
Yeah, that's about
what shall we do in the next episode?
How about turning into dingoes and eating babies? We'll do that one, yeah?
A dingo stole my baby. Oh, my God. Okay.
All right, guys. See you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. King Kong got nothing on me. King of the jungle, man, young man, rumble. See you hating on me, but you can't stop my hustle. When your back's against the wall, better fight back.